Check it. You know how I be. 5 years ago, date raped by Kobe. You know how I be. 5 years ago, date raped by Kobe. I was in Colorado, work at a hotel when Kobe rang the bell. Said, bring me some towels. Then he bent me over a chair, pulled on my hair, and tore up my bowels. Kobe bought his wife a diamond ring to make up for being reckless. But I also got some bling when he pulled out his thing and gave me a pearl necklace.
Pearl necklace, pearl necklace.
Haters say, look how she was dressed, but I didn't look my best. My uniform was a mess. I looked like a Denny's waitress.
Chicken fried steak, y'all.
Now I'm taking back the night, 'cause what he did to me, you know it ain't right. It was consensual, he said. So Kobe, tell me why my ass bled. So Kobe, tell me why my ass bled.
Tell me why your ass bled.
You are listening to ZTO Radio.
This man was accused of rape back in 2003. Okay, anally raping a woman who worked at a girl, I think she was 19, who worked at a hotel. So I'm like, and of course, you know, these celebrities have enough money to pay people off and, you know, to get stuff taken off the records and whatever else and all this type of stuff. But the whole point is that shit happened. And, you know, but if you have money, you can, oh, well, let's just sweep it under the rug. And let's just, if you're a celebrity, oh, well, they're, you know, they dribble the ball well. So what else, whatever other things they do, we don't give a fuck, right?
Welcome to ZTO Radio. I am Frank, as always, and with me once again is the fantastic Ray McGuff.
I am now Giuseppe. I will be talking like these for the rest of the time that we do the radio program.
Well, that's a choice, Ray.
I'm just kidding. I'm an old white guy. It's fine.
Yeah. So how's it been going?
It's been going, man. I don't know if everybody knows, but I'm got a new position at work, and I think I mentioned it last time. And now I'm in charge of a team of people, and it's very much like babysitting children. And if you know me, and Frank, you've known me for a long time, those are two things I hate: babysitting and children. And so it's been real interesting. I spent all this time, you know, pulling out and coming on pillows so that I didn't have to worry about other life forms. But hey.
There are a lot of people that evidently think the world owes them something. I don't know. You have to cater to them a little too much. It's interesting.
It's really weird, man. It's just like every day I go in and it's like a daycare center. People are like, hey, I need to change my schedule, or oh, I'm sick, I'm going to go to urgent care, or oh, I call off 3 times in a row and nothing. They don't think any consequences are going to happen. Oh, no, it's just a job. Yeah, it's just a job. You're right. Then if you can't do it, go do something else. I don't know what to tell you. But I'm not going to chase you around and hold your hand. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah. Hey, man. I always hated management for that exact reason. It's nothing like, I don't know. You went from not being in management to being in management.
Oh,
right?
Yeah. I haven't been a manager. I was a manager 10 years ago, and I absolutely hated it. And I was younger, you know. And now I'm older, and I had this really sweet gig in a little office all by myself with 2 other people, but I didn't see them on and off. We would talk once in a while during the day, but I did like reports, man. They would send me stuff, and I would write it up, and I didn't have to interact with anybody, and it was fucking beautiful.
Now you're all involved with schedules and stuff, and
yeah, I could talk to people all day. And then, sorry, it's a Pepsi. But I don't know if you guys heard that, but that was a Pepsi. Crack it open.
crack it open, baby.
Yeah. But it's people are like, I have a supervisor phone calls now. I hadn't even talked to anybody on the phone in 2 years in my line of work, and now I got people call me cocksucker every day. It's horrible. So
Yeah, that sucks. But it doesn't suck as bad as dying in a helicopter accident, right? Right.
no, it does not.
We had been talking about this all week since it happened, but everybody's favorite basketball man, Kobe Bryant, passed away in an unfortunate helicopter accident that killed a bunch of other more important people probably, but that's what everybody seems to be worked up about is all the other people. Because
they weren't good at shooting hoopies, so... You know.
I did, I don't know how to feel about the whole thing because there was a lot of people doing two things. You were either, he's a hero, which he's not a hero. He was a basketball man that shot a ball into a hoop. He bounced it on the court, and then he threw it at a hoop, and then that's it. That's all he really did. He didn't save anybody. He didn't do anything great. He's not a hero. But he's also, other people were saying he's a rapist. I don't know. I read the report. It certainly seems like he did some raping. There was blood on both of their clothing, and it seemed like a rape, basically. But
because the woman had other semen in her underwear than his, they got the case thrown out. He had a very good legal team because he's a famous basketball player. Now, whether or not he did it, I couldn't tell you. I don't know.
Well, regardless, he's been having this thing follow him around for years. Just not too long ago, he was on the panel to be a judge on some sort of asinine bullshit. I'm sure it was like a talent show or something, or an animation festival or some stupid bullshit. Well, they got him kicked off of it because of these rape charges. And it makes me wonder if, like, Louis C.K. were to die tomorrow, Like, I just saw somebody last week say, like, making a big deal because he was selling out places where he was performing.
Right.
Like he shouldn't be allowed to go back to work at some point. And I'm just wondering if those same people, whenever he dies, will be like, he was great, he was a legend. Because all his victims just saw his dick and probably his little red pubes. None of them experienced vaginal bleeding or tearing or anything, so...
And he was this is the thing, this makes me so mad. In his situation, he was the guy that was telling you, please, if you're not into this, leave. He wasn't locking the door. So that's the difference is that but he admitted to it. I think maybe that was his fault. He admitted to doing that. If he would have just said that's ridiculous and walked away, or got a legal team to maybe push some of these women aside like these guys do, he would not have to worry about this at this moment. But because he owned it and said, you know what, I was wrong, I shouldn't have done that. Yeah. And now he's a pariah, but this guy that claims he didn't do anything, he was a hero. And I felt bad for his daughter, don't get me wrong. I mean, like, that's a sad situation all around. Those people all died in a helicopter crash. But they're no more protected as a class than anybody else that would be on that helicopter. That people, this is my problem, is the Facebook outpouring, and then there were some people who made off-color jokes, as anybody does in any tragic situation. There's always that one guy that makes the off-color joke. And in this situation, people ganged up on these guys instead of just ignoring them like we always do, So
and it got
sickening, I thought.
The thing that got crazy was, you're right. A few people did say things that were off color, but I'll be honest, it wasn't even that dark, the stuff I saw. Like the one guy that I saw get run up, and we were looking at the comments section, was that guy that said he felt like Kobe beef, or he wanted to get some Kobe beef, which is not even, first of all, a joke. There's no joke there. There's nothing. Right. There's nothing there. It's just
being a stupid wise ass, using the play on words. And, was he funny? No, it wasn't funny. It wasn't even remotely a joke. Like, it wasn't thought out at all. It was like one of those first things, like, oh, my brain connects two things, and I'll post it,
And it was it was bad, and then everybody jumped on him and told him he should go see his kids or something. There was a lot of dark, like, personal attack stuff on this.
Right,
This
and
is
I know that guy from Adam. He could be a real piece of shit. I have no idea.
But I don't know fucking Kobe Bryant from Adam. You know,
Right, exactly.
Kobe Bryant to me is just as much a stranger as anybody else that has died across the country that I don't know.
Today,
Honestly,
you know?
to be honest with you, if it weren't for the constant excessive photos of him online prior to his death, I wouldn't have known what he looks like. You could have sat him right next to a bunch of other basketball players and been like, which one's Kobe Bryant? And I'd be like, that one? I don't know. And I probably would have picked somebody completely wrong. You know, I don't pay attention to it. And like when it just drives me nuts when I hear people use the word hero all the time. Like they did that big thing at the Grammys and shit for him and stuff. I'm like, what the fuck did this dude do aside from play basketball well? Like, quit putting him up on a pedestal, you know?
And they do that with a lot of celebrities too. You know, like every time one of them dies in any field, from entertainment to basketball to baseball, football. I mean, there's some real pieces of shit that have died in football, and they still give them their oh, he was great on the gridiron, you know, and you're like. Okay, but he did all these horrible things, you know, like
it definitely is the way that society judges people and sentences them is very strange, because there are people walking around today that are like, Michael Jackson was a legend. He was fantastic. And that dude, I'm not saying he 100% fucked a kid, but he fucking 99% fucked a kid. I don't know, you know, like I can't guarantee that he did it, but I'm almost positive that he fucked at least one child. And people are still out here ranting and raving that Louis C.K. shouldn't be able to do stand-up. What do you want him to do? Go work at the fucking car wash? What's he going to do?
Right. He's going to what? He's going to go to barber school and then start giving a sweet fade? I mean, where do we draw the lines here? You know, the lines are all over the place on this kind of shit. I don't understand it, and it makes me uncomfortable, because I'm like, I'm not going to gang up on some 2-bit guy online who thought he would take a shot at a joke, because you know why, Frank? I had a joke. The minute it was aired all over TV and people started their outpouring, and I'm putting that in quotes, I was like, oh, I thought of this pretty funny joke, I thought.
Well, what is the joke? Let's say the joke, Ray. Say the joke.
Should I do it?
Yeah, sure.
All right, fuck it, I'll do it. So I thought it was pretty funny. I was going to say, I bet he thought that. Sorry, I laughed. I bet he thought that helicopter ride was a slam dunk.
See?
At the time.
That doesn't hurt anybody.
But
Who's
it's not
that hurting?
anybody. But here's the thing. So I never said it until just now. I never posted it anywhere until and I don't think I probably should have, because of the climate. Not for anybody else, but just for me, because I don't want to have to deal with stuff. But at the end of the day, I was real quick. So in other news this last 2 weeks, this child actor who was in this Emilio Estevez,
Mighty Ducks.
Yeah, the Mighty Ducks, right? I can't think of his name. You probably would. Do you know his name by chance?
I don't know his name, but he played Goldberg, the goalie.
Right. So this guy, he is on meth now, and he's a shambles of a man, and he gets caught breaking into a car, and immediately somebody is posting jokes about him. Right? He didn't even die in a fucking crash. Right. He's still alive, living a very miserable existence. And so somebody makes a joke. So in my head, I start to play the two out. Like, okay, so it's okay to do this, but it's not okay to do this. You know, so I kind of commented in a kind of sarcastic way on somebody's post about it. Like, hey, you know, so when is a good time to make jokes? Isn't it too soon? I mean, this guy just got arrested. You know, like, his life's clearly shit. He's clearly mentally ill. Should we even be joking about this? And then this person, this lady out of nowhere, who I don't know, starts to talk about how I was alluding to the Kobe Bryant situation, and that her father had passed away, and that making jokes about dead people is never acceptable, which I wholeheartedly disagree with.
Well, hold on a minute. Now, if there's anything that is totally fine to make jokes about, it's dead people. First of all, they're not here anymore. Second of all, we're all gonna die. What are you What game are you playing with yourself? Joke about me now. Joke about me when I'm dead. In fact, I have several. I'm still trying to decide, but I have several phrases that I want etched on my tombstone that are literally jokes. I always say around the house, "Put me in the ground, Martha," because I'm just fed up with stuff. I'm like, just put me in the ground. Just bury me. You don't even have to bury me face down. Like it doesn't matter to me. We're all just gonna die. So quit getting so uptight about it. Anyways, but
right. So this person said though, Frank, that like her dad had passed away 3 years ago, and that even 3 years removed, that's never a good time to joke about it. And I said, well, okay, but comedy is subjective. So what's not funny to you is funny to someone else. So you can't really do that. Like, I'm not going to specifically make fun of your dad. That's ridiculous. But at the end of the day, if I knew your dad and I knew him well enough to know that he would get a kick out of me making a joke, I would probably do it because fuck you. You know what I mean? Your feelings don't matter if the person involved would have been okay with it. It doesn't matter, No. So,
and ultimately, your feelings don't matter. Your feelings don't. Nobody's feelings matter, and words don't matter anyways. It's not like you saying something. It's not like you saying a joke about Kobe Bryant is the equivalent of you walking up to his dead daughter and pissing on her face. It's not the same thing. It's completely different. And I think that what you're looking at, the difference between that and the Goldberg story, is there's no child death. If he would have murdered a kid while he was breaking into that house, they'd say, Ray, you can't joke around about that.
Right. but because he's a sad piece of shit, we all get to make fun of him. You know what I mean? Like, I just don't like. It's either all or nothing, or nothing, in my opinion. You know what I mean? You have to have all of the freedom of speech or none of it, because it doesn't work in segments. It just doesn't. But I have to let these fucking Nazis go on TV every day and lie to my face. Then I can also stand up and rail against them. It has to be equal. You know what I mean?
That's true. But I mean, the social justice system that's happening nowadays is crazy. But it's not as bad as it used to be if you think about it, because Pee Wee Herman got arrested. Paul Rubens got arrested in a porno theater for jerking off.
Right.
That shit doesn't even make sense. What are you going there for? Who doesn't go to a porno theater to jerk off? Isn't that what they're for? I mean, if you are watching porn, if you're watching porno like The Taxi Driver and it's like a serious film to you, you're crazy.
There might be connoisseurs who just go for the quality. I don't know, but if you're going into one of those theaters, that's what they were designed for. That they used to have peep booths in the 80s where you go in and they knew you were whacking it in there. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
But yeah, and the other guy that got in trouble not too long ago for going to one of those places was he played the dad to Phil Dunphy on Modern Family. I can't remember.
Oh, are you talking about Fred Ward?
Yeah, Fred Ward.
Fred Willard.
And he literally went into one by accident. I believe his story. He's an old man. His wife says, "Get out of the house for a few hours. I'm having this decorator comes in." He goes to the city and just starts walking in. He just goes into a movie theater to kill some time. And the next thing you know, it's a porn. And he got into trouble for it, for being there. They had like some kind of raid or something. I don't know. But he's like, literally like, dude, I just came in here off the street. And people were not going to hire him after that and stuff,
That shit is crazy. I don't understand how something you do in your private life directly affects your job. Like I don't know. It doesn't work like that with most jobs. Most people get away with being a weird creep forever. They're still gainfully employed.
In my industry, I've met many a weird creep.
Yeah, that's true. Let's take a little break here and listen to some music, I guess. I don't have anything planned. We'll see what plays.
Oh, I'm going to put on a little Alice Cooper here.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that'll work out fine. Okay, check out this Alice Cooper track. Came out in 1976. What's the title of it, Ray?
It's I've Been Ostracized by Everyone.
Oh, yeah. That classic. We'll be right back.
never seen anything like this before.
Conclusion is looming. We are aware that we're grasping at straws. We cater a service to bucks you up nicely so you fade away with the cause. We made our misery and governance drop the ground down. Just such things make an appointment down.
We are back on ZTO Radio. Oh man, that Alice Cooper song was really good.
It was really weird because I don't remember that track, but it sounded familiar though. You know,
Yeah.
like
There's something
it was
about
like
it.
I've been ostracized by everyone. Dun-dun-dun-dun.
Yeah, it's a deep cut. You guys probably haven't heard it before, but you just did. So
You're welcome.
you're welcome. The next thing I wanted to talk about was as a parent, I wasn't expecting I don't know. You never know what to expect. Everyone's doing it for the first time, no matter how much they think they want you to think they know what they're doing. The other day I had to have a discussion with my oldest boy because he's 11 now about proper genital hygiene, because I don't know if you recall anyone ever telling you the importance of washing your balls and stuff like the right way,
Yeah,
but
I had a health class
yeah.
that got real detailed, and it was like right before everybody got real up in arms about that kind of shit.
Yeah.
And they literally were like, if you could smell your own balls, everybody around can smell your balls. So you need to make sure that funk's gone. Plus, you'll get sick. So
Right. Yeah. So I had to I felt like I needed to approach this subject with him because he's getting to the age where sometimes he's got like BO popping off and stuff. So, I might have picked the wrong time to do it because he was going to the bathroom and he was getting ready to take a shower, and I just busted the door open and I'm like, "Hey man, are you washing your balls right?" And the look on his face was like, "What?" And I'm like, "No, like for real. I feel like you're coming to the age where I'm like, I don't remember anyone in particular telling me straightforward that this might be might be a problem, but you're gonna notice that if you don't wash your balls and stuff properly, it's gonna stink, and you're gonna want to get like you're gonna be interested in ladies soon. It's gonna be a thing that you know is important to you. Wash your balls, wash your dick. That's what that was how I said it to him.
I think it's a little direct, but I like it. You know, you're not beating around the bush, so to speak.
So I went up to Martha and I told her, I was like, I just had to talk with him about making sure his genitals are clean, so I feel like a good parent right now. And she told me, of course, I could have been a little bit more couth about it, but why?
Isn't that how all of your conversations with Martha where she tells you could have been a little bit more couth?
I think that, you know, but I'm not going to sit here and, you know, tiptoe around the subject. I got to get right to the meat and potatoes of the situation. But, you know, hey, man, I'm interested to know how other people have. I'm just interested if anybody out there wants to write us a little comment below this or whatever. How did you deal with this situation about genital hygiene? But anyways,
I remember speaking of the whole thing and the talk and all that stuff. I remember we had that health class, and they also talked about, you know, sex and reproduction and, you know, girls stuff versus boys stuff, right? And then I remember my dad, I'll never forget this as long as I live. My dad sits me down, and I thought he was going to have a blunt talk after this whole thing. Because he was a pretty active guy in our lives when it came to schoolwork, so he was aware that they were teaching it. And he sits me down, and he goes, so I heard, you know, health class, you had these things told you. And I was like, yeah. And he goes, do you got any questions? And I went, you know, as most kids go, no. You know, I said no. And he goes, well, I doubt that, but here's this book from the library I got for you. It's got all the answers in it. It's due back next Thursday.
So get it all in.
And he just got up and left the room.
Wow. That's certainly a way to deal with it.
I had to return the book, Frank, because he had to work. So my mom drove me over to the library to return this reproductive system book to the library.
That would have been the worst part, especially if you would have ran into like somebody you knew or something like, hey, I was just returning this.
Right.
I know it all now.
I think I ran up and just dropped it in the slot that they had, you know, real quick. But if I could go back in time now, I would have walked right into the front desk and been like, I finished with this. Do you have any on cunnilingus?
Just the whole book on it.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Because I feel like I'm going to need to know that next.
But, anyways, in other news, I wanted to talk a little bit about a recent incident at Gromy's where he had a fucking car drive through the front door.
I want Gromy to know, even though he doesn't know who the fuck I am, I was worried about him.
He knows who you are. You just have to. He has to be able to look at you.
Yeah, I guess.
But it doesn't make sense to me because this has happened twice in Lima in the past month. The first time it happened was at Alter Ego Comics. Some guy drove right through their front door, and then now this one. Which the weird thing about Gromy's is there's two big poles there right by the front door that they would have to drive right between.
Yeah. Do we have any information as to what actually happened? Like, did the gas pedal get stuck? Was the guy having a medical emergency? Was it a guy? Was it a lady? That's, you know, most ladies wreck their cars a lot. So.
All I know is that Gromy said people think my customers are bad. Fucking hippies or something like that, and he was talking about it must have been Burdella's customer next door, Natural Vibes, and said that they were drunk. So
their fucking chakra levels went down after that, probably.
Yeah, I had to pick up a couple extra crystals to solve that. But I don't know. That shit was crazy. He did make lemonade out of the lemons and put a little Clerks tribute up.
Oh man, it was so beautiful too. I had it as my background on Facebook for a while. I fucking loved it. Yeah. I assure you were open.
Yeah. Which it's hilarious, but I don't know how much it's going to cost to get that fucking door fixed because They really did a number on it.
Yeah.
Just fucking driving through.
I hope he had some I mean, he has to have some kind of insurance, I would hope.
I would assume he has at least renter's insurance. I don't think he owns that building. But
if the person that wrecked into him too, I mean, sure that if they didn't, well, fucking hippies, they probably don't have insurance.
Yeah, I don't know. Crazy shit though. I can't imagine like being at work and somebody just drives through the front of my building.
Oh God, I pray for it every day.
I mean, that's wild.
Hey, Mr. Lamppost! Don't let those Chinese take you away from me! Hello, Mr. Heavenly Man! Play that freaky song for me!
Anyways, Valentine's Day is coming up, Ray. Are you excited about Valentine's Day?
Man, I am super excited about it.
Every year I have the same conversation with people because they always ask me what I'm getting Martha, and we don't do it. We just don't do it. And then they always say, well, she's going to get mad at you. She really does want something. I'm like, I don't know. It's been 11 years. Hasn't cared ever. So I don't know.
Yeah, it's funny. Like, oh, you think she would have said something by now? You know?
Yeah. Also, she's the one that keeps track of all our money and stuff. Like, I never have money on me, like, ever. I mean, I just give her all my money. She deals with all the bullshit bills and all that stuff. And like, I would have to go, hey, can I have like I don't know, like $50? And she'd be like, what for? And I'd be like, you know, it's a surprise. What am I going to do? Like, I want to buy you flowers with it. She would stop that right there.
Right. She'd be like, we don't have $50 for something stupid like flowers.
But I'll tell you what, man, I see every year people fucking flocking into stores like last minute, you know, usually on Valentine's Day to get a card or something. Like, if you're last minute getting a card and just signing it in the store, you don't give a fuck. Why even bother?
Right.
I mean,
I remember this girl that I work with was like, hey, you know, I've got this person this chick that I think you might like. We should all get together and, you know, you can meet her. And I was like, oh, cool. And I was like, oh shit, Valentine's Day's coming up. Let's schedule it after that. Because I don't want to have to give anybody a gift.
You certainly don't want to.
He was dying laughing. She's like, "You are a cheap motherfucker." And I'm like, "Yep."
Well, no, even if that, you don't want to be stuck in that weird section of a relationship where you don't know if you're in one or not,
right?
And then like whether you would buy something for or whether they would care, you know, like that's weird. It's a stupid holiday, anyways, but. I mean, stupid holidays are all over the place. We're in one right now. It's Groundhog Day. So,
yes, I still don't understand that one, really. I mean, it was never something I thought was kind of clever or fun. I'm like, what kind of archaic bullshit is this where we drag some creature out of a hole and hold it up to the sun to see if it does something? I mean, you guys will do that, but then you want to get mad at me when I don't celebrate Christmas. You know? Like,
right. Yeah, I saw that I thought there was just one groundhog. I thought it was just Puxatawny Phil.
No,
but evidently Ohio has their own groundhog.
Yep.
What was his name? Buckeye Bill or some shit like that? I can't even think of what it was, but I think we should just go on a one groundhog system here. I mean, well, we can't have all these rodents controlling everything.
I mean,
have your individual.
It's so ridiculous. Like, even if it's a town thing, you know, like, okay, let's just say it was just Puxatawny, and you're like, okay, why does it get the press coverage that it gets? I just don't understand. Like,
I don't know,
local papers could do it. I would make sense because you live there, but if you're in fucking California and the groundhog in Pennsylvania saw its shadow, that doesn't affect you because of science.
Right.
You know?
The only good thing about Groundhog Day is the movie Groundhog Day.
Exactly.
And man, that is the only thing that's come good of it. You know, and evidently they made some. I saw Stephen Tobolowsky on a commercial yesterday. They must have some sort of Groundhog Day related Super Bowl commercial.
Yeah, it was supposed to be Bill Murray doing it for a Jeep commercial I saw, and I was like, that motherfucker will go do a Jeep commercial, but they've had to beg him for a decade to come back as, you know, Bankman and the Ghostbusters for 10 minutes. You know? Yeah. I'm like, what are you doing, Bill Murray?
Yeah, I still don't understand. He's an enigma, you could say. I've never quite understood why he decides to do the things he chooses to do.
Right.
His films over the past decade or so, I mean, I've liked a few here or there, but he really just does weird shit all the time. I don't know if he's just trying to do the weirdest indie shit he can do, but that seems like what he's doing a lot of. I don't know.
Yeah, he just, from what I understand, this is all stuff I read about him recently. He just wanders around America like a fucking vagabond. He doesn't have a cell phone. He just lives out of his suitcases he takes with him. And like, people have to, if they want to work with him, they have to literally track him down. A story I read with Danny McBride was like, he had to meet him in a park with a fucking briefcase like attached to him, like in a gangster movie, with the script that he wanted him to read for this thing that he was doing on HBO. And it was only one scene in the pilot episode of that was the one with the two teachers that hate each other. I can't remember the name of it, but it was only on for like 3 seasons on HBO. But anyways, it was really funny. But Bill Murray's in for the pilot episode for like 5 minutes, and he's like, I had to do all this shit to even meet him.
Well, I know he's got an 800 number that you can call and like leave your idea for him, and he'll reply or he won't. You know,
right? It's
that kind of thing, but. Fucking weird shit, man. Happy Groundhog Day, though, to everybody who celebrates.
Tip your hat to Bill Murray.
Yeah, you'll have your dinner of, I don't know, pot pie and traditional groundhog pot pie, and I don't know. Let's take another musical break. What do you think we'll hear this time, Ray?
Well, I had recorded myself with screaming through my night terrors, so I thought maybe we could play that.
That could happen. Let's give it a listen. Let's see how it sounds.
back down in the ground to rest. Sold my soul. Tell me now, woman, when you let me go. I pay my debt, so put me back down in the ground to rest. I sold my soul. Tell me now, woman, when you let me go. I pay my debt, so put me back down in the ground to rest.
All right, we're back. That's great, Ray.
I do all right, but you can see why the neighbors complain.
Yeah, that's true. I've seen recently, I wanted to talk about this too. A lot of people I've noticed, they don't understand that they're doing this, but they are letting everyone know that they want to kill people. Like they really actually do. You'll see it pop up whenever someone gets robbed. There'll be somebody like, you steal my shit, I'll fucking blow a hole in your ass, or I'll beat the fuck out of you until you can't think straight anymore. Like these aggressive things about robbery.
Right.
That it'll come out there. Or it'll come out whenever somebody abuses an animal, which is understandable to get upset from animal abuse because there's some real sick fucking people out there.
Yeah.
But at the same time, your response to someone killing a dog is certainly not to kill a human. That doesn't make sense. It's upping the ante. It's a little bit different.
Well, yeah, I had posted this one thing I read because I couldn't believe it. Was this guy had decapitated a dog and like done weird shit with it just because I think he didn't like his neighbors or something. I don't know, but we were all fucked up, and I was like, if that guy could do that to like a puppy dog, what could he do to a human? I don't have words for people like that, So
yeah, but I love those comment sections because no matter how severe the abuse of the animal is, those people want to kill. they are looking to kill. They're the type of people that would stab somebody for leaving their dog in a car or something. Like just the I love animals more than people kind of people.
Right. Well, yeah, it's a fucked up world out there, though. So, there are people that take it to an extreme, but I honestly believe if you're the kind of person that's running some sort of farm where you're like constantly hurting animals, you're a sick person, and you should probably be put in a cage yourself for the rest of your life. So,
yeah, I agree with that. Yeah. I agree with that. I just think it's funny when people show their true colors in a comment section, like, "Whoa, you would do what?" Some of them get pretty vulgar.
We all have that dark. If you think about it, our entire humanity comes from killing each other. You know what I mean? We're here because our ancestors killed the right people and kept themselves from getting killed themselves. That's true. I think that everybody has that innate ability, but we've become a society now where you're like, it's not socially acceptable to do that. There are rules and regulations, but there was this fucking guy that was messing with my folks that lived in Alger when they lived in Alger. He was a heroin addict, and he lived down the street, and he kept like fucking with them, like knocking on their door late at night, and I felt like they were going to get hurt. I don't think I'm a pretty rational person, but I was down to thinking of a plan of how I could take this guy out or hurt him real bad to get the point across that he didn't come down there anymore.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? Like literally thinking like, where could I buy surgical gloves where people wouldn't see me, that kind of thing. You know what I mean? I was really going to hurt this guy bad if he didn't quit. But then...
See, you took it down a darker path than what I thought you were going to say. I thought you were going to like make a floorboard loose on their porch or something, a smack him in the head.
I wanted him to see my face, and I was thinking Dexter style, this motherfucker. But
oh wow,
but not like cut him up or nothing, but just hurt him real bad so that he realized. But anyways, what I was saying is, I got myself all worked up over nothing because people like that are real scummy, they fuck themselves up. You don't have to worry about it. You just got to stay out of the way.
That's for sure.
Because this guy got arrested for doing drug shit, and he'll be in jail for the next decade, so I'll never have to worry about him again. But
Right.
I can see how it comes out in people who even like me, where I get angry and I would want to punch somebody and then throw up after getting into a fight. I have before gotten physically ill. I was considering some dark shit, you know, because this guy was fucking with my family. But but you know, so I think it's there, but you have to just like let go of it, you know. Some people can't for whatever reason, you know. So, but I think so when you see those posts, my point is that's people's shit boiling up, where the old caveman in them is getting out, "Arr," you know. But most people can put a lid on it, you know, to a certain extent.
Yeah, a lot of cavemen.
Yeah,
a lot of cavemen. I just I don't know, man. People in general are problematic to talk to in any capacity. Some woman thought I was going to jump on board. I don't know. People must not understand who I am at my job. They must not know who I am as a person. This lady said to me, just out of the blue, so President Trump passed legislation to bring back praying in schools, so that's good. And I said, is it though? Is it good? And she goes, yeah, it's good. And I'm like, I don't know about that. Depends on who you are, I guess. And she goes, yeah, I guess so. And I just, we're already in this wheelhouse, so let's just talk about it. And I said, I really don't think that Donald Trump has done anything. I don't like him at all as a human being. I think he's an embarrassment to our country. And she said to me, "Oh, really?" And I'm like, "Are you fucking kidding me?
Right.
You don't know me at all, evidently." And I said, did you see that your president's wall was falling over on its own accord just by the wind?" Mm-hmm. And she said, "Yeah, that's unfortunate." I said, "Yeah, it's unfortunate. You know what else is unfortunate? That those Mexican people probably have more of a right to this land than we do, since we came across the goddamn ocean to take it away from Native Americans." Yeah. and I could tell she didn't like what I was saying, so I just dropped it there. But
you should ask her next time. Go, where do you think the name New Mexico came from?
I can't understand that mindset, man. Like, why do you think, I said to her, I think there should be a separation of church and state. School is state, church is church, and who's stopping anybody from praying when they go into school anyways? You can do it any time of the day. I could do it right now if I wanted to. No one's stopping anybody. Why does it have to be a part of the class?
And I bet if it was the Muslim prayer, they would have a different fucking thing to say about it too. A couple of things to agree with you with on this too. One is Donald Trump hasn't done shit. And if you believe that he's Christian, you're more fucking delusional than anybody else on the planet right now. Yeah. That dude has never read the Bible. I would bet my fucking life savings on it. He hasn't read a fucking word in that book. He maybe has gleaned some knowledge from other people reciting shit, but he's never opened that book in his life, I would guarantee it. And then the second part of that is, no, absolutely not. Instead of praying in school, let's get some fucking math problems in there. We're lagging behind other nations in our schooling right now because we don't give a fuck about it for some reason. And we have lost this luster that education is important. And we're going to be... These people think that these kids are just going to learn shit on their own down the road. That's not how it works. You have to lay the groundwork for them to seek education further. You know what I mean?
Well, when you look at what our government is doing constantly with disregarding science and all kinds of bullshit that they're not taking education seriously anyways. I mean, look who's in charge of it right now. Is it still that crazy bitch?
What's her name?
Is that still that crazy woman?
Yeah, she's still in charge, dude. I can't remember her name, but she's awful. She doesn't care. She's gutting the system. You're right. Education in our country, because Republicans, and I hate to say it, but they do, they don't value education at all. They would rather you be a worker drone than somebody who is educated and can think freely. You know why? Because it's easier to put people in mass production jobs if they don't question authority or question why they're doing what they're doing. It's easier to put them in the front lines of war if they don't question authority and don't question what they're doing. If they're uneducated, it's easier for them to get into those jobs. They make it harder for the other jobs where you have to actually have critical thinking skills. And so they think, well, if we don't focus on that, sure, there'll be some that trickle through that want to do critical thinking, but we'll have more soldiers. We'll have more people to build roads, and stuff like that we need here. It's right now it's primarily the military. They really want to beef up this military for whatever reason, and you can't do that if you're well educated and think that down the road that people are finally going to figure out your scheme is to constantly keep everybody in war so that we're constantly conquering places,
Right. I mean, and all of the like infrastructures within our government are ridiculous. There's no cap on like they should take a look at the medical field and they should put a few caps on there, just pricing caps. You know what I'm saying? Because I saw there's a guy I know who just brought his twin babies home from the NICU unit, and they got their first bill from this. And I want you to guess how much this bill was.
$150,000.
It was $500,000, Ray. $500,000. $500,000.
And I know this gentleman too, and he's young. He couldn't pay that off in his lifetime. How is that going to happen?
No. My comment on it was, if I got this bill in the mail, first of all, I would not be able to stop laughing for an hour because there's no fucking way I can make that amount of money. I don't know how you want me to make that amount of money. That's goddamn crazy. And what are you paying for? I understand you're keeping kids alive, but how much does that actually cost? What is the actual cost for that electric or whatever? How the fuck are you validating this price? It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
So
I take it they didn't have insurance?
I don't know. Like with everything with childcare and any kind of medical billing, they seem to bill you wrong all the time. You know, like I've had things come through where it was supposed to go directly to our insurance company and it came to us through the mail. So then we had to deal with that over the phone. Just constant nonsense. I don't know, man. The way that our government focuses on stupid, trivial bullshit and really makes it a big thing, and then people are struggling to pay medical bills, and they act like there's no way for us to fix this when other countries have done it. It drives me nuts. Why are we focusing on immigrants so much when we have our just here's what we do: just make fucking Mexico part of America. Make Canada part of. Make us one big thing. We're all connected. We're all just one landmass.
They tried that in Europe. They had it for 50 years. It was called the European Union, and then they just broke it. So
no, let's bring it back. Let's make a new one. Let's make it better.
We'll call it the
the Nexit.
Yeah, the United States Union.
It's the next Brexit.
Union.
Yeah.
Well,
I just get tired of all the bullshit.
Yeah,
That's all it is. Really.
What world when somebody prints that bill off to send it to that kid, and because it's all the medical records are there. They know who they're sending the bill to. They have to be able to see income and things like that. What world do they live in where they think, well, that thing's going to get paid ASAP? And you're right, Frank. Like, who makes up these prices? Was it because the doctor makes $100,000 a year and he had to be there for 5 days? You know what I mean?
Right.
What's the point? There isn't any scenario where that guy is going to give them even $20,000. You know what I mean?
No.
I'm hard pressed to come up with $20,000 right now myself. You know what I mean? Like, there's no way he's going to have diapers. Double of everything.
Right. Yeah, and that bill, if they legitimately expect him to pay that off, that will be passed on to those kids to pay off, when he's long gone.
Right.
That's so much fucking money. How many people make $500,000 in their lifetime? That's a fucking lot of money.
And let's say
that's a lot.
Let's say, is that the new plan? Is that we're just going to continuously pass debt down to each other? So what, we're going to be working indentured servants for the rest of our lives? Because everybody at some point is going to have to go see a doctor about something major. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah. I mean, and at the rate it's going to be this coronavirus.
Right. Oh, man.
It's killing everybody.
God, can we talk about that for a minute?
Yeah, I know it's been bothering you because you get scared of the pandemic stuff like this.
Yeah, because it's one of those things that I've read a lot about over the years, and within fiction and within reality. That, I mean, this stuff happens and has happened in our past, and people just dismiss it that it can't happen again because we got a little smart once in a while, you know. But
Yeah.
this is the kind of shit that killed, you know, when the Black Death happened, it killed almost the entire world population, you know. So
Yeah.
this shit's scary to me and freaks me out because you can't control it. Once it spreads, it mutates again and again. You can't get ahead of it. So if they don't,
Right.
we're depending on a country who hates us right now, right, to come up with
Yeah.
a viable way to stop this from spreading and then share that information with us. Yes, it makes me nervous, you know.
Yeah.
And we're
Yeah, I guess the whole way I look at this is like every year there's some deadly virus that's going to kill us all. This one does seem a little bit more serious than the other ones, but also at that same no, I'm not going to really truly worry about it until I get it.
Well, yeah, well,
'Cause then-
people aren't going to, Frank, until they start showing cases up here in Ohio. Like, then people will start to take it seriously. But the problem is, the thing I just read, you know, not only does China lie to their people every day, they have a government-run media center that gives out all media. They don't have independent.
Yeah.
There was a secret independent council that went through and tried to get a real head count of how many people are actually sick there, because they're saying it's like 190 people. They're saying now that the independent head counts are around 90,000, not 190. 90,000
Yeah, that's
are sick.
that's something else.
And that's in just that one area, the Wustan or whatever it's called. And where and think about it, Frank. If there's just 190 people that's sick over there, right, with the real bad virus, where they just built an entire. We have aerial photos of them building it in a time lapse. They built a 2 football field size hospital right in the middle of that town. Would they do that if it was just kind of serious? You know what I mean?
Yeah, right.
So that shit makes me nervous, man. That's the kind of end of the world where it sweeps through. And then maybe the world needs that, man. We just talked about a bunch of horrible shit. Maybe this plague's got to sweep through and take some motherfuckers out. I don't know. But it makes me nervous.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess I just don't worry about death too much because I have literally no control over it.
Right.
So I'm just going to try to have the best time I can while I'm here. And that's all I can do, really. But let's move on to a lighter note.
No.
The big awards ceremony, the Grammys, happened. Do you have any thoughts on that at all?
I'm not really like a Grammys person, man. I mean, I'm aware
Yeah.
that they still happen. But music to me has become so superficially bullshit stuff that I don't care about, that I haven't watched it in a long time. I did catch that 9 Inch Nails one, right? Am I wrong on that?
I don't know.
thought-
I only watched the only performance I watched was Tyler the Creator, and that's basically all I saw, except for some like that Billie Eilish had won like all of the
Or
awards.
was it
something
Tool?
like that.
Maybe it was Tool. I
Might have
could
been
be wrong.
Tool.
I think it was Tool won for Best Heavy Metal Album.
Yeah.
But and then I mean I did see Lizzo dancing around in her unmentionables, and she seems like she has a good time. I'm not saying nothing against her. I don't particularly like her music. I don't think she really does anything that's like
Nah.
revolutionary. But I like her as a person. She seems pretty cool. So
Yeah, I had this thing happen, and I want you to try it out in your daily life to see what happens to you, because I think the same thing that happened to me twice will happen to you.
okay,
Now, Billie Eilish is someone that I don't mind her music. I don't. I think it's like a dream pop kind of sounding, minimal music. There's nothing there to offend me or me to really not like. But also at that same note, I don't think she's a good singer. I think that almost any girl can sing like that. It's minimal effort, because a lot of the female singers I like are like power metal, singers that are belting out notes and, doing crazy stuff.
Yeah, I mean,
and she kind of just does.
when I think of an impressive female singer, I think of the chick from the Cranberries. that died recently, or Janis Joplin always pops into my head. Somebody that's like holy shit, that person can sing, you know. So like Etta James.
Yeah, and I just think that she's so minimal and whispery and stuff that there's not. And now remember, I do enjoy her music for the most part. I don't think it's bad. It's not something I hate. Now I said to Martha, I don't think she's a good singer. And what she said to me was, oh, well, she's a great singer. She's a great writer. She writes all her own songs. Her and her brother had come up with all this music on their own, did this whole fucking biography. I get. Not forgetting, she's defending her, but forgetting that I said that I do enjoy her music. It's like forgetting all that. Now, I also did this to Derek Collins where I said she's not a very good singer. And then he did the same fucking thing and gave me this whole biography about her.
Yeah.
Forgetting that I did say that. No, I just don't understand that. Like, just try it out. The next time you're around a group of people that you think might enjoy her music, just say, or you hear them talking about it, just say, I don't think she's a very good singer, and see if you get that biography, because I think it might be some sort of programming.
Well, yeah, like if you have to go into that detail to defend them, are they a good singer?
Yeah.
Because if you said Whitney Houston is a fantastic singer, people would just be like, oh yeah, she certainly is, and she was a fantastic singer. Or you could say, I didn't think Whitney Houston was a great singer. And be like, what, are you fucking high? Listen to her, She was a tremendous singer. But as far as Billie Eilish, I get what you're saying. Like, she's a tremendous singer, but is she though? Because you're right. Like, I've heard women that like Fiona Apple to me is a better singer than Billie Eilish.
Well, yeah. Well, Billie Eilish's whole thing is like this whispery, like, you don't know me, but like it's like this, like really, like what are you doing? Get out of my ear. She's like doing what's ASMR, like singing styles. I don't know, but it's not. Like I said, I don't think it's bad. I give a lot of credit to her brother for making the music more so than her, but that it is what it is.
Yeah, I just I'm like, oh, okay, cool. I'm like, that's great. I mean, a lot of people said Kurt Cobain wasn't a great singer. I mean,
yeah, I don't think he was.
I don't think he was a great singer either, but I loved his music. So
yeah, and let's be honest, the Grammys are bullshit, anyways.
Oh god, it's such bullshit.
I don't know why there's any weight on any awards show, because it's just those people giving themselves awards. It'd be like if we did a ZTO TV awards show, or it's like the fucking Dundee. It's like the Dundies.
We just had a great idea, Frank. This July, the ZTO TV Awards bash.
Yeah, that'd be a good time. But my point about the Grammys is that Tyler the Creator won his first Grammy this year, and he should have won a Grammy for all of his other albums, prior to this, I think, because I like him a lot. And this new album is like the weakest of his shit, I don't get it, but Frank Zappa always said, make your music as mediocre as possible and more people will like it. So
yeah,
maybe that's what's happening.
Of course, they used to bang trash can lids together and hum over them. So what are you gonna do?
Well, yeah. You take the good, you take the bad.
That's right.
Yeah, that basically wraps this episode up. Unless you had any other thoughts, Ray.
What was I gonna say? There's one more thing. Just a quick thing. I've been revisiting things that make me happy lately. Like, what do I mean by that? Like old TV shows I've watched in the past and I enjoyed. Yeah. I'm trying to get a little bit of joy out of life again. And I suggest that you do that. Maybe you go through, maybe you're having a rough week. I had a rough week. So today I went back and I rewatched a few episodes of Entourage that I really liked that show. I know a lot of people didn't like it, but I always thought it was really funny. And it made me feel better. So I say, as we're wrapping up today, maybe you haven't listened to an album that made you laugh, or a CD or a cassette tape, or a record, or read a book,
there you go,
or watched an episode. Go on Hulu. They got all kinds of shits on there. Pick something out that you haven't done in a while that you used to smile at, and have a smile.
There you go. Have a smile. That's a good way. That's a good way to end it. I'll give you a recommendation for something if you haven't watched it. It took me a while. It took me a while to get it. I had to watch it twice. But Schitt's Creek is good. I didn't like it the first time I tried to watch it, but I gave it another shot, and now I'm in like the second or third season, and it's it's a good show. But I think The Hurdle they had to... Have you watched it?
I watched the
At all?
first season. I wasn't a fan, but maybe I'll give it a rewatch, man. You know?
The hurdle that they have to get over is your dislike of them, like all of the characters.
Yeah, that was they're all
they
off-putting, you know?
Yeah, they gradually... I don't know. Like I said, it took me I got through the first 3 episodes the first time I tried to watch it, and I didn't like the son. I thought he was annoying as hell. And I still don't like him, but he does funny shit. There's funny shit that happens. When you get later into it, it's just, I don't know.
Yeah.
I love Eugene Levy and Catherine O'Hara, and I don't know.
I'll give it a watch.
Again,
because like I said, I didn't try hard enough. I was just like, nah, this isn't for me. But I felt like that with BoJack Horseman, which I just finished the last few episodes on last night. That the series is now ended. At first, I was like, this is just nonsense. It's funny, but it's also just like somebody's just pouring their crazy thoughts into this stuff. But I stuck with it, and it had a point, you know. And I really liked that they were like, what they did with it was they tricked you. Like, they're like, oh, this is just a Hollywood satire cartoon. And then they flip it, and it's really about, you know, working your way through depression and sadness and making mistakes and how do you deal with those mistakes, how they affect other people. It was really smart, actually. Over the end of it, you're like, huh, it makes you think, kind of thing. So. Yeah,
I'll have to give that another shot because that's another one that I started to watch. Based solely on Paul F. Tompkins' involvement in it. I knew he played Mr. Peanut Butter or whatever.
Yeah, he's pretty great. Mr. Peanut Butter is probably my favorite character. I laugh every time he's on.
Yeah. But check that stuff out, guys. Enjoy your life. Try to squeeze a little happiness out. It's there. You just have to squeeze really hard.
That's right.
But don't catch the coronavirus and have a happy Valentine's Day. I don't know when our next episode will be out, but yeah. Enjoy your loved ones.
ZTO Radio. Support local. We are Ohio.